My Constructicons have returned to our temporary base right on schedule. They were worth the time we spent building them in these caverns. Scraper, report!
That's Scrapper, you asshole!
Dusty Toys, hey you.
You know who my favourite Constructicon is? It could be Scrapper. Or it could be Scrapper. Or it could be Scrapper. Or it could be Scrapper. I think it might be Scrapper. Welcome back to Dusty Toys. Today we are looking at, of course, Scrapper. Alright, well that's a box of Scrapper. It's a nice box though, the new Studio series. It's a bit hard to find in Australia at the moment. It's only just kind of dribbling its way now to stores. So, you know, box art is looking pretty nifty on the back there. Gives you a bit of a rundown from the 1986 movie. Of course, part of the Combiner Devastator. 6 of them are coming out in pretty quick succession. Will I get them all? I don't know. Honestly, this scrap is not even mine. It's Junior Dusty Toys. He's going to collect them as part of his Last in the Line series. And I just totally stole it off him while he's at school. So we can have a look at it. Sucked in, mate. Yeah. So, here's all his bits and bobs. And here he is with all his stuff. The instruction booklet's pretty weak these days. That used to look so much nicer, but now it's just... I don't know. We'll get rid of that. We don't need that. It comes with Devastator's gun. G1 Scrapper didn't come with Devastator's gun. It came with his chest piece. I did notice this particular piece. It comes apart and forms 2 separate pew-pews. If you are that way inclined, which I'm not, so I'm going to leave it like that. Looks pretty close to the G1 version. So that's kind of cool. Leave that to the side. The Scrapper himself comes with his own little pistol, which is not too disaccurate. Is that a word? Inaccurate to the G1 version. I like that. Let's have a look at the figure though before we get too much further into it. If we bring our friend G1 Scrapper back in, you can see he's pretty accurate and very noticeable with the articulation differences there in the elbows and the knees and that sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool. That's actually my G1 toy from when I was a little dusty. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased with how this one looks. I'm not a big fan of the hands. If we turn him around after he stacks it a little bit, see that blocky side there? I'm not a big fan of those looking things. It is part of the transformation though, so it is what it is at this stage. But if you have a quick look at articulation, a little bit of a foot tilt, ankle tilt, if you want to go that way. Elbows, of course, shoulders, if you want to make him show how long something is. The head does turn pretty well. Knee bend, got a 90-degree angle there. Can do the Van Damme if he wants to. Not too bad of a Van Damme, I guess. You know, bit of a high kick. He's got a bit of a balance thing going there. That's pretty good. It's got a... Does he have a swivel? He does not have a swivel. That is very disappointing. I thought he might have had one. It kind of looks like he does, but Can't see it there. So, that's unfortunate. He's looking alright though. So, if we want to transform him, one thing the instruction booklet doesn't tell us at this stage is his combiner mode, because he is Devastator's leg. So I believe the idea from Hasbro seems to be that once all the figures are out, then they'll tell us how to make Devastator. I am wondering if it's going to be very similar to Combiner Wars Devastator, whom I have, by the way, which is why I'm thinking I don't really need a Studio Series scrapper. If there was a Masterpiece version, I would definitely get the Masterpiece. There is a Fan Toys, but I don't want to spend $500 on a Masterpiece version. But anyway, I digress. Let's see if we can transform. Now, I did practice, so we'll see how we go. Follow along if you can, or if you want, or if you know a better way to do it, let me know in the comments. But the prevailing notion is this. I like to straighten his arms out first because that's kind of where we're going to start. We start with a chest piece here, and we put that down. You make sure his head's straight, and then you flip that down, and then close that back up. It doesn't really click, but you know it's closed. The hands actually just flip in like that. That's why his hands are like that, because it makes that little closed part there. And then if you turn him around, you can actually flip his forearms backwards 90 degrees, which will come in handy because this part here is going to tab into that part there. But I will do both sides before I forget. His shoulders, while looking pretty cool, do tab in as well. So he's got like little tabs on the side there that'll tab into that. So if you kind of press it in, it tabs in like that. Then you can come around the back and just make sure those are tabbed in. They don't clip in, they just go through like that. We can then take his shovel and then move that down. It does tab in through there, so you can tab that in like that. You can see you kind of got it half going already. There's this little flippy part in here. Don't know if you can see it, but you put your finger in, there it is there, and you can put it back like that. I'm not sure what that is. That could be for part of the arm, part of the Devastator thing, because part of it will come out like that for Devastator, so I'm thinking it might be part of that. Either way, back to this. The cabin at the top, you spin it around 180. Looking pretty good. Now we get to looking alright, yep. Get to his feet. Now, from memory, his feet unclip somehow, some way. Like that. There we go. So, you take that and it unclips like that. You take the other one and you do the same thing. You can put his legs together first if you so desire. So to do that, just put that back like that and then slide it in. There's like a little, it's not really a peg. I like to slide it in, so you can see it there, and there's like that little peg part there, and I like to take like a walking motion to slide it in like that. So there we go, slide it in, do what we did before and unpeg those. Now just like the G1 guy, we can turn him around and flip those over like that. There we go, it's looking alright. And then these are going to flip up and over, I believe, Is that what they are? Oh, no. Flatten them out. And they all tab in. So once you press it in, he looks a bit of a chunky boy at the end. But I do believe that is really bad. But you can hear him tab. It's all tabbing in to where it's supposed to go. So you can see they're not super straight, but he looks kind of like he's supposed to. How much of that did you see with my hands in the way? Probably not a lot, but you know, he kind of rolls. If you had him on carpet, he'd probably roll okay. You can see there that back wheel there isn't sitting flat on the ground, but you know, if you're a kid, doesn't really matter. No, not really. If you want to go back the other way, of course, it's just the same thing in reverse. So this pops off and this pops off. Our legs come back out and around as they did before. We just make sure that these stay out of the way because they did tab in earlier. So we make sure that they stay out of the way. I'm actually kind of surprised that there's no ratchet joints on this figure. I thought ratchet joints might make it a little bit easier. You can see there that there's a couple of tabs that are going to go in. I'll just separate them first. There we go. Opposite of the walking thing, just separate it out. Tab that in. You can now stand up pretty well. There you go. And then it's basically just the reverse of what we did earlier. So the cabin spins around, the shovel comes off, that thing that we had to put out goes up. Now this does tab in some way, depending on how you want it. I'll leave it out like that for now. His knee's a bit wonky, but yeah, okay. His arms untab. You can take his fists out at that stage as well if you wanted to. And I will bend his forearms around, bend his forearms around, undo his shoulders, and then the last bit is the chest that you pull down, pull his head out, clip the chest in. Again, there's no click with the chest, it just closes, and then you can fix up the shovel as you wish. Some people, you know, put it like that. You could probably try and have it flat. I think that probably looks better. And there he is. Would I get the rest of them? Maybe. I'll see what Junior Dusty Toys does with his first, but he's not a bad one. Well, he's a bad guy, but you know, the figure itself is pretty good. Compare him again to the G1. The other one that I had is this guy here, who is very, very cool. He's the Magic Squares Master Shovel, I believe he's called. And of course we can't forget Blockies. I love my Blockies. That Blockies one looks pretty cool. But there you go, it's Scrapper. Let me know in the comments if you've got him or if you plan on getting the rest of them. At this stage I think Junior Dusty is pretty keen on them. So yeah, let's see if we can find any more. I'll catch you next time. Bye.
Dusty Toys, hey you.